5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, GW Pomichter and Christian Basel, who you hang with.
Hello, Krypton Radio, and all of y'all on the World Wide Web. This is the Hanging with Web Show's Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Welcome back to another amazing episode, and this time, we're going some places.
We're going places. I like it. We're going places. That's right.
Exactly.
The Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour team is on our way this coming weekend. We will be at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friends from Imaginarium have invited us in to cover this fantastic event. We're going to be doing interviews all weekend long from anywhere we can find. We will interview artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, creative minds of all kinds, and we'll do it from whatever broom closet or cupboard under the stairs. Wherever they put us,
little broom closets.
That's right. We'll be there, and it's going to be a great weekend, man. I'm looking so much forward to this. I really am.
So is.
It is. We are coming off of. We've had a couple weeks that we've been chatting with about different issues in pop culture, issues in creativity. Last week's show was amazing.
Yeah,
it really was. The opportunity to talk with artists about the business of art was just really exciting for us to be able to share with our arts community. That there's a not so soft side of being a creative artist, and
right.
the tips and tricks. That was just a great, informative, educational show. It was a lot of fun. But this weekend is time for us to kick back and chill, because once we get on the floor, like always, y'all will see Christian and I sweating and exhausted by the end of, I don't know, it starts on Friday, so by Thursday night we'll be beat.
We look like we just walked the entire Walt Disney World on barefoot.
Yeah,
all the way around the
twice.
place.
And Dina and Sage always, they always look fantastic. But,
Thank you.
But they
and
are.
I will be walking the floor like Disneyland.
Yes, you will. That's what I'm saying. You guys will be really exhausted, because bringing everybody to the chair and getting them to sit down for interviews is always
Or chasing Cosplay Michael.
Or chasing Cosplay Michael, that's right.
Yes.
That's right, everybody. Cosplay Michael will be at Tampa Bay Comic Con in his finery. But there's a lot going on. We're going to dive into Tampa Bay Comic Con, but there's a lot going on out there in the world of sci-fi, pop culture, fantasy world. And to tell us about it is Seijia.
Excellent, excellent. I have some fun news. Are you ready?
Well, wait a minute. I just want to say this. To help with you ladies, I would say, if anybody sees Cosplay Michael alone by himself, ask him where his mother's at.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's always a good tip.
Cosplay Michael, where is everybody at? Yeah. And see if he reacts. I'm like, I'm supposed to be back with them.
And see if he even knows where we are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he just kind of, he does his thing. He goes about and... one of the wonderful things about our con community is how well they look out for each other, and we are always grateful for how well they look out for little Cosplay Michael.
And he loves to look out for other cosplayers, man.
That's right. So what's happening in the news, Sage? What do you got?
Okay, well, there was an official first look on Instagram today for the new Terminator reboot. And guess who was in it?
Who?
Linda Hamilton.
Of course.
She is going to reprise her role as Sarah O'Connor. And obviously,
Sarah Connor. There's no O.
Oh, I did say an O, didn't I?
You did.
Because I was thinking, guess what else? Guess what else?
That was a really good cover.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is also going to reprise his role.
But not as O Terminator.
Not as O Terminator.
Not as the O Terminator. Just as the Terminator. A Terminator.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, like, how much can you beat a dead horse before the dead horse even knows it's dead?
Oh, no. I mean, let's face it.
James Cameron is going to make this really, really worth our time.
It's... I like the last Terminator, the actual, when they really rebooted the characters. I thought that was really cool.
Was that Genesis? Terminator Genesis?
Yeah, that was one with Emilia Clarke.
Yes.
And I thought it was a great way to refresh the I mean, it's literally talk about a movie that's taking you in circles. That's what this is doing over and over again. We keep coming back in time and forward in time and back in time to the same events and seeing them in different ways, which is obviously the catastrophic conundrum of time travel, which is, can you get caught in that kind of a loop where you're, you fix one thing but you go forward and you've broken something else and you come back again and you do it over and over again. And so I thought, Genesis sort of was the reboot, but apparently not. This is going to be...
It's not titled yet, so it's just the new Terminator reboot until we get an official title.
Well, now, how can you have a reboot but reprise the roles from the old characters? That's just another sequel.
So is this like
know.
Terminator 3.2? Are we
could be.
disavowing everything from what James Cameron didn't do, or?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not really a reboot if you're reprising old roles that people know about, and I don't know. It'll be interesting. It will. Again,
I will keep you updated as more news becomes available.
Yeah, and of course, things that happen in that universe also include the short run sci-fi series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which were starring Summer Glau.
I like those.
I did too. It's got to have Summer Glau. It's enough said.
That's true.
It's got, we all, we'll watch that. We'll watch Summer Glau read the phone book.
I think I have.
I don't know. It could be true. He might have. Okay, so what else you got over there?
Okay, well, the trailer for Venom.
Yes.
Has dropped,
yes.
Right? That's Venom starring Tom Hardy.
One.
Yep, the second one, which is scheduled for an October 5, 2018 release. But they're letting you know that this is one Venom you don't want to mess with, right? In the trailer, he says, "We will eat both of your arms, then both of your legs, and then eat the face right off of your head."
Okay. That's a good, it says it all. It says it all. So, I mean, what else? Wow, I got nothing to go with that.
Oh, you have nothing to go with eat your face right off?
I really don't. There's nothing witty. There's nothing. It's just scary.
Scary, huh?
And you know what? I've been looking forward to the Venom since I saw the first teaser. I've been looking forward to that movie. I know it takes place in the Spider-Man universe. It's coming from Sony, so it's a part of that partnership. But this is its own thing. It's a standalone Venom, and I look forward to. I like the anti-hero aspect of Venom. Very much like, Christian and I like to talk about Deadpool doing just that. Deadpool does it in a more deadpan comedic way. Venom does it in just a snarly, gnarly, evil kind of way.
Ooh, snarly, gnarly. I like that.
Yeah, I just made that up on the spot.
That was good.
I'm witty like that. What else you got over there? Because I'm running out of Venom.
Okay, well, that one, that's...
See that
well, that's scheduled all the way in October, so let's talk about what's happening now in August.
Okay.
It's not really sci-fi, but just for fun, the new Christopher Robin is coming out
all right, look, this
Friday, which it looks so awesome.
We have done conventions now for the last 3 years. We've seen our share of Winnie the Pooh characters on the floor.
Hey, our good friend Josh has an awesome cosplay of Winnie the Pimp.
Yes, he does. Enough said.
What does this consist of? No,
I can't do that, huh? I can't do that. No, and it is, as we understand it, in fact, all of our cosplay listeners out there who might be interested in this, his cosplay is Winnie the Pimp, and it is a literally sort of the stereotypical, like 70s pimpified Winnie the Pooh. But he's actually looking, he's auditioning, I guess. He's looking for the 100-acre hose. It's true. I know this sounds it's horrible and sexist and awful. And you can find him at joshdoeswinniethepimp.com, I guess. But do not hold the Hanging with Web Show crew accountable for that. It is a real thing.
But the movie Christopher Robin looks absolutely wonderful, and
it does
really
not take place
in
in Josh's universe.
It certainly doesn't.
This is Christopher Robin's grows up, basically.
Yeah.
And his pals from the 100-acre woods want him back, and
the trailer for that looks awesome.
It does. It's creative. It's very seldom can a movie get away with this, and those that do get away with it become what I hate the term because it's an oxymoron, but they become instant classics. when they do it well, and that is when you take any form of animation, whether it be computer animation or traditional animation, and you blend it together well with live action, you get magic on screen. People love that mixed media feel. We first saw it, it goes all the way back to those early CinemaScopes, but we first saw it successfully done with Disney in Mary Poppins, when Dick Van Dyke dances in the chalk drawing.
Yes.
We saw it again in the 80s, brought back to life in things like Cool World, and then most successfully in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which, again, instant classic. And now we're going to see it in the Winnie the Pooh universe with a grown-up, live-action Christopher Robin surrounded by all of his animated pals.
Who was your favorite from the 100 Acre Wood?
Oh, boy, favorite. I think I liked Tigger growing up. I like that energy.
Bouncy, bouncy, fun, 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 fun.
Yes, I like that energy. I just like that idea of optimism that comes with Tigger.
That's hilarious because you know who my favorite is? Mine was Eeyore.
Eeyore, yes, Eeyore, because, wow.
I was just going to say Eeyore.
Wow. You know, and I guess...
I think it's because he loses his tail all the time. Everybody has to help him find it.
Pin
the tail on the
Christian,
donkey,
do
which
you have
is
a
always
favorite
fun.
100 Acre Wood character?
The Pimpo.
Oh my! Oh my!
You know
Yes.
what? I'm going to walk this.
Winnie.
I'm walking away from the 100 Acre Wood right now.
All right.
You know what? Do you know what else is coming out in August?
What do you got coming out in August?
Slender Man.
Scary stuff.
Yes.
Slender Man.
August 10th.
I don't want to say fan made, but it was almost like an independent movie. They didn't call it Slender Man, but I have it on video at home. And it was like a first attempt to do a Slender Man. They did a good job.
I'm curious. What is the premise of Slender Man, a movie?
You've never seen Markiplier or any of those guys?
No.
play it?
I know. Okay, so
That's what they're going to do. They're actually going to recount the tale.
as from the video game perspective.
Yes.
Okay, because I remember everybody. Slender Man originally is a urban legend from online. It comes from the old urban legend chat boards and things like that. Many people, and this is one of the things that gets me about this movie, and it is frightening to me, and that is that I know many people will recall that it was the online character Slender Man that inspired, if you will, and I almost don't want to use that word because inspiration is a positive thing on this show, but it wasn't here. It inspired the killing of a little girl by two other little girls.
Almost. She survived.
Oh, she did survive. That's right.
She did survive. Yeah, her father is not exactly very happy.
No, I would imagine not.
Yeah.
I would imagine not because this is a story that in its online form had some massive ripple effects out there in the world. And now in video game form, you know, obviously we've seen Markiplier and everybody else playing the video game, and we know that it's being more. I think it's easier to accept the character, this evil, maniacal character, in a video game form, in a popular medium, because you can see it, you can hate it, you can love it, you know, you can love to hate it, and
He's creepy.
And you know it's fictional. You feel the fictional elements of a video game. You feel the fictional elements, but coming to the big screen now, it can be terrifying.
Well, so with Slender Man, it was just a simplistic game. It really didn't have that much as far as a story is concerned, because the original game is basically you're walking around in the dark woods
and
in the middle of the night into certain structures and places, and you have to find 8 pages before Slender Man catches you. And every time you find a page, Slender Man gets faster and faster and faster.
Yeah. And the original stories, the original stories that of Slender Man were very much individually shaped. It was a collective. There wasn't actually there's no known that I'm aware of author of the Slender Man stories. They were collective, so that one legend would be put up and then another one would be added by another user, and again so forth and so forth. So the idea of keeping the character simple comes right back from his very roots we call it this all the time. It's modern literature. Online media does present a kind of online literature. This is a horror tale from online, and And so making it that way in the video game, it actually makes sense to me because that's the way the character has evolved as a collective project. We're going to talk a little bit more about Slender Man, and we're going to dive into some more of the things coming up in the news. First, we have to take a break. We've got to pay some bills, keep the lights on around here. So stay tuned in, stay logged on, see who we're hanging with next.
Mechcraft is a self-aware nanotechnology embedded in a person's DNA. Mechcraft is the skill of controlling the nanotech, summoning forth tools, weapons, and machines. Mechcraft is ruining Teen Jake's life. He's the first person born with nanotech, and that makes him a dangerous wild card. Targeted by ruthless factions, Jake must race to safety. Check out the new science fiction thriller from Brian Fitzpatrik. Mechcraft has been called the ultimate thrill ride with heart. Available on Amazon, iTunes, and Audible.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Michael with the Hangin with Web Show, and you're listening to Krypton Radio. And remember, cosplay's for everyone.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Welcome back, World Wide Web, Krypton Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes listeners, Spreaker listeners, and all of y'all out there in Radio Land. You're listening to the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Welcome back, everybody. And just to follow up on what we were talking about Slender Man,
yeah.
I'm really worried about things because can you name me one movie that went from game to movie and has been successful?
You know, I think it depends on how you define success. I will say that
not critically panned.
Well, boy,
even Warcraft took a beating.
Yeah,
so.
Warcraft. Well,
I thought Tomb Raider was pretty good.
The original Tomb Raider series was pretty good. The latest Tomb Raider reboot was actually really good. And I will say, Master Chief there from the Halo series, the Halo. They went directly to digital, and those movies are actually not terrible. They have their moments when you can see they didn't have a huge budget to do this stuff with, but they've actually done quite well too. The thing about Slender Man though is again, it's please pardon the pun, it's a thin character. It's a character who.
And horror in itself is a whole different ballgame because that's what this ostensibly is going to be.
My hope for the Slender Man movie is that it firmly places Slender Man, the character, and the urban myths, with the help of the video game and with the help of the film, it firmly places this character in the realm of fictional characters.
Yes.
A place where this is fantasy. This is literature. This is entertainment. This
not
is
real.
That's right, because that was the problem with it as an online boogeyman, is that so much of what we get online comes home and we talk about it, and we share it with our friends, and we share it off the computer, offline, and we start talking about these tales, and they become these urban myths, and so when I look at the history of the Slender Man character and I see what was inspired by that character, I'm hoping that by putting him on the big screen and putting him in the video game and putting him out there as a fictional piece of literature, it will send a clear message to everybody that this was never meant to inspire anyone to action. It was always meant to entertain. It was always meant to frighten and to give you those goosebumps that you get when you read or you see horror. And nothing more, and that's. I hope it does that, and I hope they do it successfully. I haven't seen the teaser for it yet. I know there's a teaser on IMDb. I haven't seen the teaser for it yet, but hopefully they will do a good job in clarifying this character a little bit more. Because other than that, I think this is a character that has a difficult history for a lot of people to get over, and with good cause. So I hope it does. I hope it does what it's supposed to do.
Well, you mentioned trailers, right, on IMDb, and I actually saw an awesome trailer, and I had never heard of it, so I had to check it out. And this is news. Coming out into theaters August 24th is a movie called Axel.
I saw the teaser for that.
It's a robotic dog.
The dog?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. It's like, talk about the ultimate sci-fi. You know, you're just a kid and then you find this robot dog. How cool is that? And he's huge. And he looks right into his face. You know, they never say don't look a dog right in the face, and then you're going to look at this cyber robotic dog and get right in his, in his big face.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks so cool.
Yeah, I think that's good. I did see the teaser for that. It looks amazing.
And you know who's in that?
Who's that?
Thomas Jane, our guy who plays Miller on The Expanse.
That's right, Thomas Jane
Yes.
from Hung on HBO.
I always forget about that one.
Yeah, and from the Expanse on Sci-Fi. Just a story about a boy and his dog. It's really what it boils down to.
It is.
It's a
robotic dog.
A boy and his robotic dog.
Hey, look, his robotic dog can do some amazing things.
It is. It's cool stuff. It was great. It was a great teaser. I can't wait to see the film. It's going to be great. What else is coming down the pike, man? Anything good? Anything else?
Well, I just checked in for for August movies. Speaking of dogs, there's one coming out also this month, and it's called Alpha.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at it, and it reminded me very much of, do you remember 10,000 BC?
I do, yes.
So Alpha is the imagined story about how man first found a dog. It was about a boy who gets separated from his wandering nomadic family back in the ages of, mammoths and whatnot, and finds a wolf who got a injured wolf separated from his pack. And they kind of become friends and help each other to survive. And it's how man first domesticated dog.
Wow. So
he have dog, huh?
that was wow. Okay. Wow.
Let's talk about Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Let's talk about Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Yes.
There is one more news.
Oh, what do you got?
This one is mine. I want this article that came out just recently on Krypton Radio. Nearly 4 decades after its premiere, Time Bandits is going to come as a TV series.
Ooh, yeah.
That will be
That's from our friends at KryptonRadio.com, and I have total mixed emotions about this one.
Oh, I think
because I was always looking and hoping that they would have made a sequel, but unfortunately, the people that I think coined everything about Time Bandits, not only just the cameo roles that came up, but I think there was a chemistry between David Rappaport and the guy who played Wally.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, David took his own life after, I think back in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, or in the 90s. And after which, and I think the guy, I can't think of his name, and I apologize, but the gentleman who played Wally, I think, got into an accident or something happened to him. And those two were, I think, made the magic for the movie because they were always sparring off of each other. If they're going to reinvent this, I'm very, very skeptical.
I think one of the things that it has the potential to be incredibly successful on the small screen, and I think it's in large part due to the cult following that it has, but I think it's also going to be in the comedic nature that it had. And a lot of times it's hard to get from big screen to small screen, and sometimes because of the epic nature of films, things that people want to see certain things. But Time Bandits has that quality about it where it was made to be a little ludicrous and a little funny, and the chemistry in the cast was amazing, and can probably never be reproduced on that level, but at the same time, we have some fantastic comedic actors out there that can put together a great thing. Sage has got a story up. Do we have any actors yet? We have anybody who's interested?
We don't, but it was picked up by Apple.
Apple?
Yes.
It'll be streaming on Apple services, and not only that, but of course, everybody's favorite gentleman in stature would be, God, why is my brain just fried? Game of Thrones.
Peter Dinklage.
I drink it. I know things.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Multiple.
His name has been kicked around a lot.
Well, multiple Emmy winner. He has a history of doing comedy. He actually has great comedic timing, and I think we were introduced to Peter Dinklage doing comedy in the Knights of Badassery.
Knights of Badassdom.
Oh, that's right. The Knights of Badassdom. That's right.
Where LARPing becomes real.
Where the LARP becomes real, and also I know theater-going audiences got to see Peter Dinklage comedically in the Pixels.
Oh, that was
the
great.
Adam Sandler spoof Pixels.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And so
he played the other game. Well, and we also just recently saw him in Infinity War.
Well, yeah.
Which dropped yesterday.
It was a little less of a comedic role.
Well, that wasn't comedic, but we still got to see him.
But yeah,
on the big screen.
So and he's a superb actor, great comedic timing. He could be a lot of fun. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope there to see what they can do. It's a difficult thing, and we've talked about this in storytelling all the time, because when you're dealing with Time Bandits, is 1981. You're talking about something that for middle-age, audiences is a tiny piece of sacred memory. It's a tiny piece of our childhood, and it's always hard to take on a project that has that kind of nostalgic value to your audience, because whether we remember a movie for being well made or whether we remember it as being a part of our childhood. It's that place where you sat with your family, or maybe with if you were in your teens or so with your first date. It's something you saw and laughed with good friends about, etc. And so I don't know. When you start messing with people's nostalgic memories, it becomes a difficult place to go. And just like Christian had pointed out, the chemistry that was created on screen by the actors in 1981, what was funny and made it a funny, amusing part of our childhood. So, can you catch lightning in a bottle twice?
I don't know. You know what else, though? Speaking of nostalgia.
Uh-huh.
They are in the works with Fox, is a prequel for The Sandlot.
A prequel to Sandlot.
It's about the 25th anniversary for The Sandlot, and they're kicking around a prequel for Sandlot. It's all very hush-hush, but Fox is looking at it.
Wow. Prequel for Sandlot. Interesting. I mean, I love Sandlot.
But there has to be a story behind the Beast, so maybe that's what we'll get.
The story behind the Beast.
Because all the kids knew about the Beast. It had to come from somewhere. So maybe
but the crux of Sandlot comes from the kids.
That's true.
The interactions with the kids, and so it would be difficult to, I think, again, and later on, the Sandlot 2, which was successful also, another group of kids, another generation of children, and so it was really about their interactions. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I did see, and Sandlot brought me to an interesting meme I saw online the other day. It wasn't a meme; it was actually a photograph that was taken by two of the cast members of Sandlot, who tweeted it out, and it was a person walking around downtown, and apparently our Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls.
And the kid famous for that line, the redhead, chubby kid, were hanging out together, and they saw a guy walk down the street in a "You're Killing Me, Smalls" T-shirt, and the one of them said to the kid, "Love your shirt," but the kid had no idea who they were. It was really funny, and they're adults now. Obviously, they look like adults. And it was a great thing. They took a picture of them standing next to this person in the T-shirt, and the kid in the T-shirt has no idea who they are. And they are tweeting out, this guy had no idea who we were, but we told him he had a nice T-shirt, and he let us take a picture with him. And it was really funny to think that that's such an iconic line, that the person who's walking around in a T-shirt, he really doesn't know who the actors were that, said the line. So it was great. It was a neat thing. I caught it, I think, on Twitter the other day. It was really super funny.
Patrick Renna, by the way.
What's that? Oh,
Patrick
yes, Patrick.
Renna.
I'm sorry. Yes, but it was really funny to me to think that here's this young guy, maybe 18, 19 years old, walking around in a T-shirt that has that line on it, and when the actors walk up to him and say, "Hey, that's a great T-shirt," he's just like, "Oh, thank you." Has no idea.
Have you ever come up around with something that somebody is saying, or a group of people are saying, or on the internet a bunch of people are saying a phrase, and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
On occasion.
What is that?
On occasion. Well, because of the nature of the show, and, Christian, because of where we are and what we do all the time, there aren't very many times when that happens, because most people will use a line and I pick it up immediately. I know where that's from, especially because pop culture is sort of ingrained in what we do here. But every once in a while, I'll hear a line or something, and people will be laughing, and I have to go research it and say, where did that come from?
But not that one.
Not that one. I mean, you're killing me, Smalls. It just, everybody knows. Okay, so we have to take another break. Again, I don't know why she's doing this to me like I guess it's every 15 minutes. Never mind.
Mean.
I know why she's doing it. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay some bills. And remember, everybody, stay logged on. Stay tuned in. See who we're hanging with next.
From author R. Kyle Hanna comes The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. How far would you go to clear your name? Jake Cutter, convicted of a crime he didn't commit, is plunged into a battle for survival in the notorious Kleenex prison. Tormented by his captors and haunted by his past, for Cutter, it's all about revenge. R. Kyle Hanna's The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. Get it now on Amazon.com.
From author Julie Morgan comes this epic erotic fantasy, The Concubine and Her Vampires. Olivia Martin's sole purpose as a blood demon was to be little more than a blood bag to a vampire master. Then came Jared and his 4 brothers. Now at the center of her own vampire harem, need, lust, and blood drive Olivia further into a life she never considered possible. The Concubine and Her Vampires by Julie Morgan is available now on Amazon.com.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your 5 senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
All right, welcome back, Krypton Radio, World Wide Web, iHeartRadio, iTunes, everywhere. Everybody, that's right, as my drill sergeant used to say, la-di-da-di, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Again, welcome back.
Yeah, and we have been going over just the comings and goings and the news and what's coming out in theaters and everything for the last half hour or so. And the next half hour, we're diving into, we are headed this weekend, August 3rd through 5th, 2018. We are going to be at Tampa Bay Comic Con at the Tampa Convention Center. I'm looking forward to this weekend, man. I've been a month without having a convention. I need a convention. I need it. I needs it. I need it. What an amazing group of people they have set to come out and entertain and delight and interact with fans. We got celebrity guests. We've got David Harbour from Stranger Things. We've got Rory McCann from Game of Thrones. The Hound. That's right, the Hound himself. Val Kilmer, everybody's least favorite Batman.
He was awesome. Wait. He was awesome in Real Genius.
He was awesome in Real Genius. We'll never forget Real Genius. Also,
are you sure he's the least favorite?
I think it's a toss-up between him and Clooney.
No.
I mean...
Even Clooney confessed he was not even really trying in that movie.
Yeah, it's just really... honestly, I'll give it to it's not the acting, because actually I think Val Kilmer is an incredibly talented and amazing actor. I thought he brought something really good to Batman. That was youth. However,
wasn't his the one with Robin?
Yes, but I think one of the problems with Val Kilmer's Batman was he was coming off. Val Kilmer was transitioning, and we had come off with Michael Keaton. We had established a new Batman. We had established Batman in this universe. That this was going on, and it's a hard act to follow. It really, really is. And they had an all-star cast for Val Kilmer's. It was Batman and Robin, was it? Batman Forever. Which one was that? I forget it now. The names.
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
I don't think it was as bad a movie. I think it was mainly. I mean, it was basically somebody took the set from Starlight Express that was going out of business and said, "Hey, we'll make that a set in our movie." And I'm like, the heck? And you didn't have
Tim Burton.
Burton, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just having amnesia during this
It's
show.
okay. I'm telling you. But yeah, you had the new Batman universe back then had been created and had established, and you were coming off of Michael Keaton. Right. There was just a lot of things going on right then. We were transitioning as moviegoers, and when kids watch that series, though, all of it, they dig it, man. They still like it, and they should. They're good. They're good young adult Batman films. The adult audience, we got our turn. A few years later, we got the Dark Knight trilogy, and that was a much darker, much more gritty feeling story. Nolan really brought it, out for adults. But for back in the day, I think that was it was a really good dive into Batman. It was Batman's first return to the screen.
I just think it's cool that Val Kilmer is taking a break from filming Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, the sequel.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he's reprising his role as Iceman.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, he is doing that?
Yeah.
Yes.
He is doing that, yeah.
That is really, really cool. And shout out to our Comic-Con friends and fans in sci-fi fantasy, because one of the roles I will remember Val Kilmer for always was as the character in Willow.
Yeah.
Yes, he got to be our great heroic character right alongside of young Mr. Warwick in Warwick Davis in Willow, and he did a great job. And again, I thought it was really cool, and he's a great actor. And again, growing up in the '80s, of course, Real Genius was awesome.
Of course it was.
So, and Top Gun, and he's delivered so many fantastic performances. And he'll be there at Tampa Bay Comic Con, as will, I understand, young Noah Schnapp also from Stranger Things. He is the young Will character. Mm-hmm. He spent the entire first season
in the Upside Down.
In the second season,
in the Downside Up.
In the Downside Up, I guess. Yeah, because he was having a bad time this last season. He really was. And then Carrie Ells will be at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
As you wish. I couldn't resist.
I know.
Okay.
I know. That is, again, talk about pieces of subculture that have gone on to become pop culture staples. The Princess Bride is one of the most beloved classics.
My name is Inigo Montoya. I am looking for the six-fingered man who killed my father. Prepare to die.
She does that really well. In fact, she actually delivered the eyes were piercing and scary at the same time. We've got Brianna.
Sage will come to your house and actually reenact the whole film in front of you.
Yes, in front of you.
Mostly. I will mostly do it.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Brianna Hildebrand is going to be at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Chicken noodle. Sorry. Deadpool called her chicken noodle. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I know. That's fantastic, though.
Justin Bieber.
There's fantastic celebrities. We, from the arts and entertainment community, from our side of the world, we're excited too, because we know that Bill Hatfield, the amazing author William Hatfield, will be at Tampa Bay.
And so will his cookies.
Get to Tampa Bay Comic Con, y'all. Go by and grab a book from Bill Hatfield and some cookies.
Ooh, you know who else is going to be out there?
Who's that?
Josh Bauer.
Josh Bauer, JB Designs.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Bauer will be out at Tampa Bay Comic Con. You guys can check out some amazing. He's been working on some stuff.
He has been.
It's fantastic.
Our guys from Famous Faces and Funnies are going to be out there too, so that's going to be fun to see.
Yep, Rick Shea and the whole team from Famous Faces and Funnies will be out there. Anything you're looking forward to, Christian? What are you looking forward to the most?
I do want to see Val. It's kind of a. Here's the funny part. And I'm trying not to integrate too much on the future coming other Tampa Bay convention, but Capaldi and Pearl Mackie are going to be both at MegaCon, and I won't be there at Tampa Bay MegaCon. I'm coming to this convention. But and everybody's razzing me like, there's going to be Doctor Who celebrities all over that convention. You're not going. I said, I family comes first. Sorry.
There you go.
But, I think Val. And I met Carrie Elways, and I don't know. I met my geekdom. I met Brett before.
Yeah,
I might meet David and Rory, and there might be, and I'll try to see if I'll swing by to see Cameron and Brianna.
Yeah,
but I'm just they're not strong in my geekdom realm.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well,
I hate to say that. It's just like,
yeah,
but
you know,
I'm interested in their stuff.
You know, years ago, when Comic-Con culture was a subculture, it was, you know, we were broken into our subcultures. So you had events, and we still have these events today, but the larger events now encompass everything. There were Doctor Who events, there were Star Trek events, there were Star Wars events, there were, you know, Marvel Comic-Cons and DC comic events. Today, the advent of subculture becoming pop culture means that when you go to a large con, Tampa Bay Convention Center is a huge venue, Tampa Bay Comic Con, it is a mixture. It is everything thrown in the pot. And so there's a little bit of something for everybody, but then there are always some things that are missing for specific fandoms. We're excited to see, we haven't caught up with him in quite a while on the convention circuit, but our good friend Kevin J. Anderson and Wordfire Press will be out at Tampa Bay Comic Con. For those of you that don't know, Wordfire Press was one of our earliest supporters on the Hangin' with Web show, and Kevin J. Anderson, the author of
pick a
universe. We once referred to Kevin as the ultimate fan fictionalist, and but he's not really. He's a professional author. He has his own creative properties that are out there, including Dan Shambles and.
I love the Zombie Detective.
That's right, and so many others. But Kevin is probably best known for his work in the Star Wars Extended Universe, what's now called the Legends. He also worked extensively in the X-Files universe, writing cases. He also worked...
Well, he's working right now with Dune.
He is. He's working with Frank Herbert's son, Brian Herbert, and they are putting out new Dune books in the Dune saga, and they're getting ready. They have a deal where they're getting ready to put Dune back on the big screen. So for you sci-fi geeks out there, Dune is coming back to the big screen, and that's going to be kind of exciting stuff that they're working on. But, you know, we've got John Crowther is going to be out there. We've got the Kate Carlton illustrations. Kate we caught up with at MegaCon, I think 2 years ago. I think our first MegaCon we caught up with Kate and talked about her art and her. It'd be great to talk to her about her journey and, you know, how far she's come. I don't know. Unlike you, I don't know that I have a favorite. Marta Witt, who we just had on the show from MegaCon in Orlando.
Beautiful portrait art.
Yes. So I mean, I don't know who I'm looking forward to the most. If I get away from doing interviews long enough, I would love. I would stand in line to go over and say hi to the guys from Stranger Things. I think especially young Noah because I just think those kids, you know, I think they're surrounded by fans most of the time, and they've understood. But I want them to know how great they're doing. I mean, they've got a great property. Stranger Things is one of the best shows streaming out there right now. It can be scary. It's fanciful. It's a story that harkens back to everything you loved about your growing up in the 70s and 80s, from Winona Ryder to the setting and the era of, you know, the idea of the kids running back and forth until the streetlights came on, and
it's a fantastic soundtrack.
It is, because it's the 80s.
That's right. Best
soundtrack of any decade, I think. Probably a rough competition between the 80s and the 50s.
And don't miss out on at least two former guests of our show. Athena Finger is going to be out there.
Yep, Athena's going to be out there.
As well as internationally known cosplayer Yaya Han. And
yes.
Both of them have been former guests on our show in one form or fashion. So
yes. It's always great to run into Hangin' with Web Show alumnus out there in the world and on the con circuit, because it's always great to catch up with them. We also have, from the Hangin' with Web Show alumni, we have Andrea Molinari from the Shepherd Comic. Chris Widup is going to be out there.
Velcro and the Ninja Cat.
That's right. Walter Osley, former Hangin' with Web Show alumni, is going to be out there, the artist.
And T. Allen Diaz.
T. Allen Diaz. Thad Diaz is going to be out there under the Wordfire Tower, under the Bard's Tower. You can find him in some great books. He's debuting, hopefully, at Tampa Bay Comic Con. He's hoping to debut the second book in the Lunatic City series.
That was fun.
which
On the moon.
which is sci-fi noir.
To the moon.
It's a noir detective on the lunar colony, and it's fantastic. So you can find TL and Diaz in Lunatic City out there. Yaya Han, of course. Every single show we do, every daily show we do, every weekly radio hour we do, we add new friends. And that's the only way to describe the people that have sat in the chair, because we get to do a great interview. We get to find out about their art and their process. We get to laugh a lot, and we make a new friend. And we love catching up with those guys out on the convention circuit. Tampa Bay Comic Con is going to be just amazing for us.
There are a lot of fun things to do, but we can't talk about them right now.
We can't, because we have to take another one of those silly breaks that Dina makes us take.
But we're going to talk all about the fun things that you can do at Tampa Bay Comic Con when we come back.
There's a whole list. There's a list, and there's things. So
some of them legal.
Some of them are.
Some 28 states.
They're all legal.
That's except for that one thing, and that's only in Georgia. Anyway, let's go ahead. You guys stay tuned in, stay logged on. Come on back and see what's to do at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Discarded by Michael J. Allen. In a world where magic is sold like designer coffee, unknown forces have corrupted it, and it's killing people. Now, an unlikely hero emerges. A homeless ex-con creating spells out of a trash can is the only one who can save the city. Michael J. Allen's Discarded. Available on Amazon.com.
How you doing, everybody? This is KG Bethlehem. I'm an author of a new book called Certain Moments of Time. It's a collection of short stories. These short stories range from post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anti-utopia, as well as general fiction. You can find Certain Moments of Time on sale at Amazon.com, where you can purchase the ebook format as well as paperback format. You can also purchase it at Lulu.com, paperback format, and will be on sale soon at BarnesandNoble.com.
All right, welcome back. World Wide Web, Krypton Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker. Where else are we, Christian? We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
We are. That's right, though. It is the World Wide Web. We are everywhere. You're listening to the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Welcome back again, folks, for our final portion.
Final portion of the show, which is going to dive into what to do if you're going to be at Tampa Bay Comic Con. What can you do? Where can you go? First and foremost, you want to walk around that vendor hall and you want to say hello to all the fantastic Hangin' with Web Show alums.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, just everywhere you go, from cosplay alleys to the community section to the authors or whatever, you want to walk around and say some fantastic creative minds that are going to be there that are Hangin' with Web Show alumni. But there are some cool things to go over really quick. There's the Tampa Quest Instagram photo scavenger hunt.
How cool is that?
That is really cool. Starts at Friday, 12:30 in room 12. There's a $100 prize for this. It is exactly what it sounds like, guys. Go on out about the town and take pictures of these treasures and things that have been set out there for you. Have a wonderful. It's really a great way to get to know the area around the convention center.
And you might not know what is on that list.
You might not.
You might have to go find a specific Pokemon cosplayer Pokemon.
That's true.
And take a picture.
You never know.
You don't know what's going to be on that scavenger list. That makes it fun.
Again, grand prize $100.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. There you go. There's your ticket price for the day, guys. Go on and do the scavenger hunt. Penguin knife fight. I said that with a straight face.
It is.
Yes.
That's improv comedy.
It's improv comedy. That's right.
The fifth time they're going to be doing this at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
This is the fifth time, and 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, well, the 8:30.
So the fifth and sixth time.
Yeah, well, the 8:30 show is 18 and up. So, the earlier humor, you can drag your kid to.
Aha, I see. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can catch that comedy, improv, the knife fight. By the way, everybody, there's an app. There's an app for that. If you want to know more about Tampa Bay Comic Con, everything from where to process in, get your tickets, to who is where, and a map of the floor and everything else.
And the schedule, absolutely.
You can get all that in the app for the Tampa Bay Comic Con app. So check your app stores. So what else you got that's going on? We got these. We're celebrating this weekend the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter with a full-on Harry Potter concert. in Ballroom D, the music of Harry Potter. In that same vein, by the way, if you're at Tampa Bay Comic Con, you can also see Matthew Lewis, who is best known for his role as Neville Longbottom. So, but check out the Harry Potter concert.
Totalis.
Yes, poor Neville. Poor Neville. We recently got to rewatch all the Harry Potters.
Oh my gosh, that's
introducing
so much fun.
young cosplay Michael to Harry Potter for the first time, and we got to rewatch the entire series, and it was so great. It was really great to sit with Michael, and he got so excited about the things that he saw in the movie. But what was really great as adults was watching the kids grow up on screen. If you really think about it, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. We've watched these kids grow up right in front of our eyes on screen, and it was so amazing to sit back and rewatch that stuff. It was really cool. Saturday night, guys. Saturday night at Tampa Bay Comic Con in Ballroom D, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yay!
Yay! That's right.
I don't think it's a convention anymore unless Rocky Horror is.
I know.
It's the late night.
It's not a big convention unless
double
it's a Rocky
feature.
Horror.
There you go.
Show.
That's fantastic. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Saturday night, 9:30 p.m., Ballroom D. You can check that out.
You know somebody's going to be cosplaying in tiny little gold shorts, right?
Yes. So there will be several. There will be several. Not all of them should, but all of them will. Mm-hmm.
Certain laws against that.
And there in some places, I think there are.
Damn it!
Also, the live Shadowcast show.
Nice.
The live Shadowcast show put on by Cheap Little Punks.
Yes.
Which is something that I yell out my front door all the time when the kids in the neighborhood are running by. Cheap Little Punks. But yes, they will be putting on the Shadowcast performance
For Rocky Horror.
For Rocky Horror.
Yes, there's also nerdy speed dating because there's always speed dating at a Comic Con, but it'll be nerdy speed dating.
Yeah, you know, I'm. It's interesting. Again, we talk about the transition from what was geek culture, nerd culture, subculture to pop culture, and I don't know. I mean, I know listening to the show and out there in our geekdom, there are plenty of us who have been around a long, long time and remember when being in the geekdom and it was hard to get a date. Now we have speed dating. There's so many opportunities, we have to go through it really fast. Now we have speed dating. So
I was just joking around with somebody who actually participated in a couple of them, and I said, you know, I just as a goof, just as silly, and I said, I wish I could just send in like a clone of me, just to see where I would have ended up with, just to see what if there would have been a connection. And somebody said, probably you can try it, but the best way he interpreted it is it's a sausage factory against a small Taco Bell. And I was like, well, okay, wow, all right.
All the restaurants in the future will be Taco Bell.
All the restaurants in the future will be Taco Bell. That's what I'm referring to, buddy, because, not too much big on the selection for the female side as opposed to the male side.
Well, and I know our good friend and author, Melissa Gibo, at the last convention we were at, tried the dating room. Just, again, just seeing who she would meet or, to make new friends and whatnot. And she had kind of mixed reviews, too. She said it was a good experience overall, but it was, it's not a dating room, per se. And I guess it makes sense. Comic conventions are a place where we go and we celebrate what we love. We know what we have in common already with the people in the room. And so, it's of course, dating is dating nowadays. We also had the Tampa Bay Comic Con Film Festival and talent showcases going on at Tampa Bay Comic Con. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is our good friend Ryan James.
Yes.
Shooting Clerks.
Shooting Clerks, yeah.
Will be doing the film festival, I believe. Will be there. And the talent showcase, we don't know anybody that has any really neat talents.
You could do all kinds of things. You could juggle. And then they are doing the Tampa Bay Comic Con talent showcase on Sunday in room 24. And you can just show off whatever you want.
Wow.
So you made up a rap about Pokemon. Come and do it.
Christian
we want to hear it.
Christian and I exercise our only real talents on the radio each week. It's the only talent we have. We can talk. So I don't know.
Because I can't hold down a real job. Just no way.
Wow.
Okay,
And
since we're coming to the end of the show,
yeah,
I'm going to tell people if they find us, I'm letting you know, I'm going to have a surprise for everybody on Saturday.
A surprise.
surprises.
Ooh, good deal. So look.
I haven't told you guys yet. Only 2 people know because they're going, and I'm probably going to need their help.
Well, there you go. Everybody, come and find the Hangin' with Web Show team. We'll be on site. We'll be roaming around. We're going to be interviewing some of the great independent creators down on Artist Alley, Authors Alley, in the community area. We're going to talk to some cosplayers. If you find us on Saturday, Christian's got a surprise for you.
It's a Christian surprise.
Christian surprises are pretty cool.
Wait a minute.
Christian surprises are pretty cool.
I'm just going to say, bring your cameras. I've only done this once.
He's going to wear pants.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
Just saying. Oh, my Lord. So if you want a picture of Christian wearing pants, you can get it at Tampa Bay Comic Con this weekend.
I will be wearing pants.
I'll be wearing Sage's pants.
Well, if Christian is wearing my pants, I want a picture of that.
We all do. We're going to post that on the Facebook page. There'll be a contest. Best photo of
that
Christian.
could be one of the scavenger items. You never know.
Never could. It might be a scavenger hunt item. Find Christian and Sage's pants. And wow, that took a turn. Anyway, we are going to wrap it up. And before we do that, though, we want to thank all of our great featured authors for their radio spots. It was so great to hear about so many fantastic books that are coming out. We want to thank our partners and our friends at Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, our great friends over at Embellish FX. If you're a cosplayer, performer, stage actor, you want to check these guys out. Embellish FX in Orlando, Florida. They've got everything you need, literally from your nose to your toes.
It's true.
Wigs all the way down to boots and whatnot.
All the way to shoes. Ooh,
That's
the
right.
shoes.
The shoes. Embellish FX, Orlando, Florida. We thank you very much for your support. Our great friends down at Pound the Grape in Melbourne, Florida, which is a fantastic venue. It's a wine bar. But it's more than that. It's a community venue. They've got art classes there.
Dancing lessons.
Dancing lessons. We went down last Friday to hear our good friends, the Kitchen Killers, perform live.
You can actually paint your own wine glass. Did you know that?
I saw that. It's pretty impressive. So, Pound the Grape, we thank you and we love you for your support. And our fantastic friends. And Dina's saying something behind the thing. She can say it into the mic. Say what do you want to say? Yvonne Mason. We said Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, and we love Yvonne, and we love her for supporting the show so much. We thank all of our featured artists, authors, filmmakers for supporting the show, for being guests and sitting in the chair. I'm out of thank yous. I'm not out of thank yous. There's so many thank yous. I'm out of.
That's it.
One particular thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the YouTube channel and subscribing. Thank you for listening, no matter where you listen to us, iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, wherever you get this, you get our show. And thank you for all your support for over the years that we've been on, and we are just continuing to grow. And again, as every show says, we can't do this without you. Definitely, we would not be able to do this without you and all of your love and support. This show is a testament to everybody.
It is
with a big greeting card of love there.
It is. Very well said. We do thank you all. We thank our great friends at Krypton Radio for allowing us a platform to share this with you, and our friends at iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spreaker. Just to have a platform to share our passion and to share these creative artists.
All right, find us out there. You can
find us out there.
Google Hangin' with
Google
Show.
Hangin' with Web Show.
We are right there.
Yes, we are.
Can't miss us.
That's it, guys. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel.
I am Sagea.
And
Dina Marie.
And we are the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. Remember, everybody, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.